piece of news dropped. We are going into Toyfair 2019. It's
boy.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend for Transformers Slag. So bear with us. We're going to try to get as many videos up as possible.
We're trucking through this. It's
man,
lot.
I was just talking.
It is a lot.
Yeah, I was just talking to Jaws D off the air, and I'm like, I think I'm going to pull an all-nighter for this. You know?
Oh no.
And I'm a little under the weather too, so if I sound a little bad, also I apologize for that. So the first piece of news, I swear I woke up this morning, and I got a whole bunch of PMs on Twitter, and I was just like, what? And then I was half asleep, and part of my brain was like, wait a minute. We talked about this in some shape or form.
Yeah, we didn't see any images. We just knew that it was coming.
I went into our archive because, we talk about so much on the podcast. Like, we're at like 700 plus segments at this point.
Yeah.
And I was like, I went on the search and I'm like, oh yeah, September 28th, 2018, we talked about a Ghostbusters Transformer crossover. The rumor was at the time that it might use the MP10, again with this MP10, but there wasn't nothing was confirmed. It was just like rumors that Ghostbusters and Transformers were going to do something together. And we didn't know what it was. We talked about it a little bit, and we all took it with a grain of salt. Well, woke up this morning, cracked open the news, and I mean, it's kind of a double piece of news because also it's kind of the debut of Hasbro's new, let's call it their toy shop kind of thing. So we have Hasbro Pulse, which is their new website, which, by the way, if people are trying to log on to it, it's been going up and down like crazy. It's been crashing because of a lot of traffic. They didn't expect. And
yeah, it's down right now. Oops, we're sorry.
It's down? Okay, there you go. So that's why.
I was like, let me see if I could see it. Because when I checked it out for this thing in particular, it was, I think, maybe lunchtime, I want to say. I could be completely wrong about that.
Friday lunchtime, okay.
Yeah, and, I could see the actual item, and I was like, oh, this is a real deal. So I actually, forwarded it to Protoman to find, be like, hey, yo, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was 10 a.m. It was it was almost 11 a.m.
You and a lot of people, my phone was just like, yo, bro, turn this shit off. And I didn't really get a good look at it until, after lunch, which was hilarious. And then after lunch, I was like, what the, But yeah, so right now, and it's not because of just Transformers, it's because they've launched it with all their different brands, Marvel, Magic the Gathering, Star Wars. So all the different fandoms are, bum rushing this.
Yeah. And
so, for various reasons, I heard that the prices are really good, even for some of the deluxes, they're 50% off for Transformers, Siege Deluxes are $9.99.
Jeez.
Yeah. So needless to say, people have been rushing this website. And this is just Transformers. I can't even imagine how good it is for all the other brands and what's going on and what exclusives are being revealed and stuff. So they've been having a lot of traffic. So if you're trying to log in, it's a bit of a clusterfuck right now. Yeah. We'll just have to wait. So let's get into the first piece of news. So we have this Ghostbusters mashup. This is the Ecto-1. The official name of it is the Transformers Ghostbusters Ecto-1 collaborative figure. It's Murder Meets the Eye collides with Who You Gonna Call. I almost wanted to say I ain't afraid of no ghost Starscream, but I was like, what is there a ghost in Transformers? Like, oh, ghost Starscream. Yeah. There was just kind of a missed opportunity here because they include a clear Slimer accessory. They should have included also a little clear Starscream. I guess
they didn't want to confuse it. They wanted to go all in on one franchise. Yeah. It's like this thing's already transforming, so let's go all in on the Ghostbusters part. And they really do. I feel like they knocked it out of the park with this, surprisingly.
And the reason why they did it, and it was something that didn't click with me initially, but it is true, is because both of these brands came out relatively at the same time. Both Ghostbusters, the first movie, came out around the same time as the first episode of the original G1 cartoon. So they both share the same kind of 35th anniversary origin. And so that's why this collaboration. It's kind of the same thing like what Street Fighter did. You know what I mean? Where they also kind of like, oh, hey, we both have kind of an anniversary at the same time, too. So they work together.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's pretty cool because that's two Japanese, you could say Japanese-ish brands. So the Street Fighter and the Transformers one with Tommy Takara. And then this one is like Hasbro and an American brand. I think that's pretty cool. Like you're hitting it on two different ends of the earth kind of thing.
Yeah. Well,
you're hitting up that nostalgia wave on two ends of the earth like that.
And it's Sony Pictures, which is also interesting because it's not Paramount, which is like it's very interesting how like whatever the red tape is and what's the explanation behind this existing, how it was decided. But I mean, we've already had some announcement too outside of this. We'll get to the figure in a second, but there have also been announcements recently, some teases that IDW Comics is also going to do a crossover. They're also going to do they're going to do something with that too. So it's probably also tied with that. We'll definitely learn more about that when it comes. But as it stands right now, so this toy, from what I've seen, and the second I looked at it, because I worked on a toy that used this exact same mold when we were working on the fun publication stuff, and I was messing with Bludgeon and and going like, okay, well, how are we going to do this Matrix of Malice thing in the chest and stuff? I was looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, this is the Onslaught mold, which Bludgeon was used from and stuff and everything. So this is a heavy retool of Combaticon Onslaught from the Combiner Wars, which is amazing how it literally just uses the skeleton, if you will, of the transformation, and then every single piece has been retooled more or less. I mean, the only thing that really, if you want to see like what was once Onslaught, you just gotta kind of have to look at the center of like the robot mode.
Like the chest, the cross, the torso. The torso is what we're talking about here.
You still have a little bit of the remnants of that, and it'd be kind of cool too if like the ghost catching ability as you open the chest, maybe. I don't know, because again, that's always been a kind of a thing with that figure. But yeah, and I mean the Ecto-1 alt mode is spectacular. Like nothing was
you can't even tell.
Yeah, it's seriously like nothing was spared at all, like to make this happen. I used to look at like, the Star Wars Transformer stuff, and you could clearly see, how some stuff had to be done to make one work with the other. But this does an incredible job. And I mean, after many years of, fan parodies and fan art and everyone making their own interpretations, because, Lord knows it's happened. Yeah. It's finally official, and it's crazy. It comes with the, like the giant booster pack for the proton pack and stuff, and it comes with a Slimer, it comes with the gun, with the wire.
Yeah, exactly.
This looks really, really, really cool.
Do we know who's getting this?
So the story, how it's going to be is initially this is going to be a pre-order that's on the Hasbro Pulse website. That explains again partially why the website had problems, because if we got this for Transformers, imagine what all the other brands also got. So there is a pre-order for this. Right now, everything's down, so you will get an opportunity, but it says here pre-orders start February 15th on Hasbro Pulse, and then it crashed.
Oh, yeah, that's why I saw that Fortnite Nerf crossover
there
thing.
You go.
There's a bunch of stuff that they were doing. I remember,
so a lot of stuff dropped that same day, including this, but they said that after the initial, it will be a GameStop and EB Games Canada exclusive. It will be available at those locations, because the reality is anyone that's been going to GameStop or EB Games recently for Canada, or GameStop in the United States, anyone who's been going to them recently, they've been carrying Transformers a lot now. It's kind of because they're really
and specifically exclusive ones.
Oh, it's exclusive. Well, stuff that's been, let's say,
or like I know we've been getting some Walgreens exclusives in our EB Games. Basically,
any Target or Walgreens exclusives would kind of end up at EB Games. So it kind of has become a bit of a place to go to pick up Transformers. And if you have an Edge card, specifically a Platinum one, with the discount, prices aren't too bad. They're pretty on par with, you're not paying a markup that you would have paid any more than a Toys R Us or a Walmart. So as it stands right now, it's going to be an exclusive to those locations. I mean, this looks really cool. It's right now it's $39.99 USD on the website. Who knows? The beautiful thing too at EB Games is stuff gets red tagged, and GameStop stuff gets red tagged over time. So it's something too that I would not be surprised. You wait it out a little bit, it might get cheaper. But this is great. This is really cool. It opens up the doorways to a lot of other stuff, again, because when I look at it from the business side, having Sony Pictures involved and Ghostbusters and stuff, it makes me go, there's some real, business going on here and talking, and I'm really curious what else is probably planned in the long run. I remember some people were talking about in the chats, they were going like, oh man, they got to do Speed Racer. I'm like, yes, they do. And the only reason why they bring up Speed Racer is because they're bringing up stuff that potentially could have similar brands and stuff like that.
We won't do Speed Racer, but Racer X's car, we'll do that because we're weird.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is, especially with that, is...
nah, screw that. We'll just do... What was it? Oil... What was it called again?
Slick Oiler.
Slick Oiler. We'll do that whole
the weird
thing.
The weird Proto-Man looking guy. But yeah, as it stands right now, it has a summer 2019 release date. Pre-orders are up right now. Website is kind of caco right now, so you'll just have to wait it out.
Yeah, it's kaput.
I mean, who knows? Maybe by the time you guys hear this, everything will be fine. But
yeah,
I mean,
hope so.
As of like the past 6 hours, the website has been pretty bummed.
Hosed.
Right now. So
that's a technical IT term. Hosed.
It's probably going to be pretty busy this whole weekend because again, people are going to be seeing this product and then going to check online on their phones. Whether it be, who knows, even media guys that are there to report this. So, needless to say, just be patient with it. They have an Instagram also, which also gives updates on what's being put on their thing. So the Transformers Instagram also, the official one, will let you know what's happening. But this is great. The Ectotron, as it's officially called, G1 inspired box that's going to come in.
He's got goggles. He's got a lot of little details on him too, which is really nice.
I am really excited about this. This is cool. And I'm not even like, I love the Ghostbuster movies, but I've never been like a huge Ghostbusters fan. Like as a kid, like I didn't really I had like one of the toys. I had a Peter Venkman, the scare ones there where you push the arm and the
I had the helicopter.
Okay.
I had the helicopter. I had like a little retractable like crane and stuff like that. That was the one. That was the one I used, and I played like I put all my other toys in it because I didn't have a Ghostbusters toy. That was the only thing Ghostbusters I could get at the time because I think that was like the tail end.
And I had a friend who was like heavily into Ghostbusters, so I kind of lived vicariously through him through his toys. And I was always like, "Hey man, this toilet is alive," you know, it has like a monster coming out of it. And then they had like a Volkswagen Beetle that was like also a monster too. Like I remember a whole bunch of them. I mean, the only one that I honestly have in my collection now is I just have Stay Puft, like the original '84 one, just because it's so iconic and everything. But I've never been a big Ghostbuster fan.
I always feel like a lot of the toys, the engineering for those toys kind of went over to the Mummies Alive line, basically.
Oh yeah. The scare gimmick, especially the second wave of Mummies Alive toys. For people who don't know what Mummies Alive was, it was a short-lived cartoon by Deke and a toy line, which I want to say was Kenner. I'd have to look it up, or Playmates maybe. It was a short-lived line, had 2 waves, and then a third wave in the UK, and also used like a similar kind of scare gimmick where the monsters would make faces and stuff, which actually played into the show too. But yeah, this is cool. This is awesome. We'll definitely talk more about it. Hey, it's Toy Fair weekend. You're going to be hearing us bring up